you shot medium format and up, especially for commercial work, editorial work. 35 millimeter was reserved for amateurs like my dad, who got me into photography. Newspaper, photojournalism, you know, that kind of thing. But even wedding photographers. Do we have any wedding photographers that used to shoot Hasselblad at weddings? Anyone want to show their age? I remember assisting photographers who shot Hasselblad film cameras at weddings, right? So medium format ruled the day. And really medium format was still a small format. A lot of people shot 4x5, 8x10. When digital came around, it was all based on a 35 millimeter kind of system. And we just accepted that as that is now our format. So all of us medium format shooters moved to 35 millimeter based cameras. I started back off with Nikon, back at the Nikon D100, went on through the D3, then I switched to Canon because of Vincent Laforet, and we were all supposed to become, you know, great filmmakers because of the 5D Mark II. So I was with the 5D Mark II through the 3 before I got myself a little Fuji camera, fell in love with the X series, and like you were saying, the DSLRs just started to gather dust, and I started shooting with the X series. But everyone was like, but it's a smaller camera, a smaller sensor. True, but I was at a gallery showing about 8 or 9 years ago, and there were several photographers showing work. And I think it was like 6 or 7 photographers. They all had their work up in a gallery, and it was all beautiful, beautiful work. But there was one photographer's work in particular that from across the room, I looked at his prints, and I could tell that they were different. I walked up to the prints, I stood this far away from them, and I just wanted to touch them. The detail, the color, just the tones of the picture. How, not just the focus falling off to the background, but how the focus fell off to the background. And the photographer's name is a guy from the UK, shoots a lot of fashion. His name is Drew Gardner. And he's standing there, and I'm like, Drew, there's something about your prints. There's something about your images that stand out from everybody else here. And he just looked at me and he said, medium format, mate, medium format. And I was like, shit, you know, I've got to go medium format. Well, it took me 3 years, and I could finally save up enough money to buy my first Phase 1 kit. I bought a Phase 1 IQ 140. I shot that kit for about 4 years or so. And then in the last few years, I upgraded it to the 100 megapixel XF system at a very substantial cost. And I went in to upgrade to 50 megapixels because 100 megapixels is absolutely ridiculous. Like, that is a stupid amount of data. I did not need 100 megapixels. I did not want 100 megapixels. But the very good salesman and dealer that I work with in the States said, Zack, I know you want the 50. Take the 100 for a week. If you don't like it, bring it back, we'll give you the 50. And I was like, I'll be here in a week. Like, just give me the 50 now. No. Just, it's on us. Take it, try it, and then bring it back, we'll give you the 50. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in 1 week. The next day I called him and said, I'll take the 100. I'll go, I'm keeping it. Like, it is ridiculous, but it's fantastic. What is amazing in medium format that you don't get in smaller formats is the details and the dynamic range. I say the devil is in the details. I'm not a big pixel peeper. I never read DxO marks on anything. I don't really like track all of that stuff. But when you're shooting 100 megapixels, you can't help but do a little bit of pixel peeping. Because when you're shooting something that has a lot of detail or a lot of things going on, and you want to make big prints of it, you just want to go in and keep looking at all of the details, to get lost in it. And with 100 megapixels, you can just keep going and going and going. It's insane. Right? And this is what I'm talking about. When you make a large print of this, you know, usually you make a large print based on how far away you're going to stand from it. Like, if you're standing 2.5 meters away, then you make a print this big and it will look fine, but the closer you get to it, the more and more it's going to degrade in quality. You can make a really big print and get right up on it and see all of that detail, every drop. I joke with my clients that I can extract their DNA from these photographs. There's so much detail. I could clone you from 100 megapixels. So this was shot with the GFX. I got the GFX and like 5 days later got on an airplane and headed over to this side of the world. I did not have very much time to shoot with it, and I'm going to remedy that as soon as this trip is done. But I was able to get like 1 1/16 of a shoot done with the GFX before leaving. And that detail is just stupendous. The dynamic range of medium format, though, is what is so important to me. And I'm going to show you, as a professional photographer, very professional, how I screwed up on a photo shoot and how medium format saved me. So I shoot a lot of promotional stills and promotional campaigns for television shows in the United States. One of the people I work with a good bit is Vanilla Ice. Right? Everyone remember Vanilla Ice Ice Baby? He has a television show, and he's an awesome dude. So on promo and press days, what happens is there's going to be a film crew shooting all of the film promotional stuff they need for the television show, and then the stills guy. And it's usually just me. And video is going to take like 4 hours doing a shot, and then they yell, "Stills!" Then I come running up, and I get like 2 minutes, right? They get 4 hours. You're shaking your head. This is your life, right? You're sitting around getting fat over at craft services, just eating food until someone yells stills. And you run in and you get 2 minutes. So typically what I do to make the most of my time is while the video crew is setting up the shot, I jump in and take all of my test shots. I get my exposure set, I figure out which lens I'm going to use, I get my kind of like placement, like, okay, I'm gonna shoot from here, I'm gonna shoot with the 35 millimeter lens, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. All right, let me lock in my exposure. So when the talent is on set and they call me in, I just get my camera and I can go in and start shooting. And I can concentrate on getting the shot that I need because I have very little time. And then I yell stills out, and I step back out and they go on to the next setup. So I get everything set up, I get all my exposure set, and it's my turn. I told you, I get all of my exposure set. What happened was, as I was getting set up, the sun was behind clouds. When it was my turn to shoot, the sun had come out. But I was so frantic in my head and like, I gotta get in there, I gotta start taking pictures, that I didn't even realize, hey, the light changed, my exposure should change, but I didn't. So I fire off 40 frames looking like that, right? He's wearing a white hat and it's just bleeding off into the sky. So I shoot. I'm like, okay, stills out. I step back, I start to look at my camera, and oh shit. And I can't go, oh hey everyone, I messed up. Can we do that again? You can't do that on a set. You can't do it. Art director's there, how'd it go? Let's take a look. Yeah, I'll show them to you in just a minute. Let me get them downloaded. I got a full card. Let me download them to the computer. I'll pull them up on the computer here in just a minute, and you can take a look at them. And I'm like sweating. But I was also okay because I shot it medium format. I'm like, it's totally fine. Totally fine. All right? So we go into capture one. You can see that like that from that white hat to the sky, we've lost nearly all the detail. It's fine. It's all there. Watch this. We're going to go pull up